All right, let's get some big storylines. We'll ping pong back here, but let's go back to Ohio State. So
Hmm.
offense, like I said, started slow. The run game was abysmal. 66 rush yards for Ohio State. Is that any cause for concern for you?
I think that's the beauty of Ohio State is if something's not necessarily clicking, they can still create extensions of the run game with the receivers that they do have in terms of getting them the ball in space, quick screens, bubbles. You could still throw to green grass. Um, Although their passing plays, like I said, they're more of an extension of the run game, and I think that's kind of the line you toe if you're Ryan Day and you're calling a game is, if someone's trying to take that away from you, well, you got to now figure out ways to loosen that box up. How are you going to do that? You have a ton of answers, right? You can skin a cat a lot of different ways, whereas other teams may be handcuffed, like, hey man, like this is what we got to do. If we got to do this, we got to either go to some crazy ass unbalanced bullshit, or like you have to really reach into a bag of tricks to create what you want to create offensively to put your strengths in the best position to be successful. Ohio State really doesn't have to do that. They just have to execute in a different manner and put stress on a defense in a different way to kind of open things up, if that makes sense. And that's the beauty of it. So, yeah, they didn't have to really run the football. They only ran it for 66, but I have no doubt in my mind that if a team was to say, hey, we're going to dedicate extra hats to the passing game and you're going to have a 5 box all day, that Ohio State is going to be able to go, oh, okay, cute, and ram it right up their fucking ass. You know what I mean? Like
Totally there.
I don't think that's an issue. So,
Yeah,
um, you
it's
know,
it was interesting getting into some of the tape because I was a quarters coverage team. A lot of people would look at it and be like, well, you got two high safeties. So, you're working with a 7-man box. I would make the argument, and I grew up in a quarter system at Ohio State,
mm-hmm.
that it's really a 9-man box because those safeties can be fast flow, susceptible to some play action for sure when those guys are getting downhill, but they fill in the run game. So the box count is deceiving, and it's not making
Yep.
excuses. I'm just explaining, like what
No.
football actually looks like. And then Iowa actually took some chances in those gotta have it run situations where they played some zero and they just crowded the line of scrimmage. And part of the reason they could do that is because Ohio State has a quarterback that does not run the football. He refuses to pull it down. And I think it's something that CJ Stroud needs to develop within his game just to give a little bit of relief in those situations. So I would say Iowa had a great game plan, but here's why I'm not concerned personally. 66 yards is a bad number. And if that becomes consistent, it makes it more difficult for Ohio State to go out there and execute their game plan. But they ran the football on 48% of their plays. So they did not go away from the run game.
Mm-hmm.
And just having to defend it by nature of Ohio State's actually going to continue to run it, whether it's working or not, I think is an evolution because Ryan Day has been a coordinator in the past that when that run game is not working, he'll just scrap it and say, we got a
Abandoned
quarterback
ship,
and
dude.
some wide receivers that can make some plays. Like we're just going to throw this thing and see if we can't open it up that way. But it seems like there has been a decision that was made within that program that, listen, the run game might not be working. We might not be getting the yards that we're looking for, but we're going to stay committed to actually running this thing. So we're not one dimensional, and the defense still has to go out here and at least stop it. And to me, I think having played defense, the idea that a team will still run it makes you, it takes the edge off of you in many ways. So for me, I think that's the bigger thing. Like if I looked at this and it was 66 yards, but Ohio State said, fuck it, we're just not even going to run it anymore, I'd be like, God, that doesn't
Yeah.
feel good. But the fact that they said we're still going to mix it in there, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah.